Welcome. We're going to be demoing the Magic Kitchen, including the main server and the server blade and its functions and what it does. The system comes with the main server and a server blade, which is copyable. You can create as many as you want. As you can see, I have several in the stack. The idea of the server blades themselves is this is where you actually store your materials, including any of the raw materials or prefab materials that you make that you're going to be using in your recipes to cook. The system also includes the 9-square board and a tile inside that you can use, and that's what helps you recognize your recipes. So I'm going to start off sitting in my little chair here. This is not part of the system, but give you an idea. I'm going to set up the stoves. Again, the stove setup here is not part of the system, but this is the way I set up my stoves quickly. I'll just speed this part of the video up a little bit real quick. Okay, and in this demo, I'm going to be doing cheeseburgers. So I'll put this down a little bit. And as you can see, I'm set up in for the cheeseburgers. You can see this is our recipe that we need: bread, lettuce, tomato, ground beef, cheese, and mushrooms. So the way you get each ingredient to cook is you click on the board, you type in all or part of the name of the ingredient you're looking for, and it gives you the selection to choose from. We're looking for option 0, bread, and we want it to be in slot 1. You'll see it reses that tile for bread in slot 1. And let's just do the others real quick. Do lettuce for slot 2. Tomato basket. Let's see, tomato basket is option 1. And it goes in slot 3. We need ground beef. Type in beef. You can see there's probably a lot of options for beef. Ground beef is option 3. And ground beef goes in slot 4. 5 is cheese. Cheese is option 0, and it goes in slot 5. And lastly, we need mushrooms. That's mushroom basket, and that goes in slot 6. And so that's all the ingredients we need to be able to make cheeseburgers. Okay, let's go back to full screen. I'll go back to my view here and show you basically. So now if you want these items to start resing automatically, you're just going to click each tile. We'll see it gets a little bit darker when it's in res mode, and each one of them will start resing the items necessary over the tile where it's located. I like to cook. All you do is open up your craft window. You can see I have it organized where it's near the top of my window. And we start entering the ingredients. It's 2, tomato 3, beef 4, cheese 5, mushroom 6. Cook. And there's my cheeseburger. You could do it in reverse order, whichever order you want to do it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cook. This order, as long as you know the order that you're clicking in, it doesn't really matter. So we're going to sequence that you click them in, and with the board it makes it a little bit easier. So you're able to. Tiles are in res mode like they are now. When they're a little bit darker, that's when they'll continue to res items, and it'll continue to have 2 resed above the tile so that you won't run out. And if you want to stop resing them, you just click the tile again. You'll see it goes light, and when the tile goes light, whoops, that's when it stops resing. So at this point, it will no longer continue to res the items. Just take these back into inventory and you'll see it will no longer continue to res items above the tile. So once you're done cooking, you can collect whatever the leftovers are or cook until you run out of items. And then if you want to clear the board, simply click and die. It clears out all the tiles and resets everything back to its original state. The method of having multiple server blades is that you can store your items in multiple things. You've probably run into the situation where you're trying to load the contents of something and it takes a long time for the contents to load. So in this case, the server blades hold several items in the same way. You can use different server blades to store your items, and as they hold more items, you'll see the recovery slot on the front will get darker or lighter. It starts off green, so you'll see some of these at the bottom have very little or nothing in them at all, very small. And as you get to the brown colored ones here, you'll see they have about 15, 16, 1700, somewhere in that range. And as they get a little closer to red, you'll see they have about 2000. Some of these are probably a little bit even way over. This one has 2100, and you'll see some of these up here. This only has 1200. That one's pretty green, has a long way to go. The idea being that it takes a lot less time for the contents of the server blade to actually load, so you can have multiple, and the main server unit here will actually connect and communicate with all of them, as many as you want. As you can see, I have about 21 in this stack. Now, the system has a couple other functions I want to point out too. If you interact with the main server blade, you can also get counts of specific items in a similar way. So I'll type in potato and it'll ask me which item will go for baked potato, for example, item 0, and it'll ask me for a count, and it'll go through all the server blades to count how many baked potatoes there are and tell me that we have 180 baked potatoes in inventory. You can also have it give you items in inventory as well. So we'll do the same thing, and I'll do strawberry, for example. We'll just do a strawberry basket. So I'll choose item 4, strawberry basket, and I'll ask it to give me 2 baskets. And you'll see it'll give me a couple of baskets here that I can use, and it's a little buggy, so you can actually see it gave me 4 in this case, but the functionality still gives you the items. You can always return them back in the server blade. Storage in the server blade, so I have some things here in inventory I want to use in cooking, so real easy, like I said, to add these into my cooking server. Just collect the items in the inventory. Here's some of the things I collected after cooking my cheeseburgers too. Here's those strawberry baskets I got, and just drop them in any of the server blade. That's it. They're now included in your cooking system as long as the item's been added to the inventory list, and that's real easy as well. Comes with about 20 default items you can use in cooking, and anything you want to add to your recipes you can do easily. You just res out the tile from your inventory. Each time you change the tile, you're going to res it back in your inventory and keep that updated one for the next time, because that's going to go back into this board ultimately in the end. So for now, you're going to edit the tile that you've resed out from inventory, and we're going to add lobster plate, for example, in this case, to our recipe items. And you'll just grab the texture from inventory. It has to be the exact same name as the item itself. Drop that into the inventory of the tile, and then you're just going to touch the tile, and it'll give you a little message to tell you that it's updating. And depending on how many items you actually have in your total inventory, it can take a little minute. We'll speed this up. And once everything is done, you'll get the update message down below, and that's where you're going to take the tile back into inventory, and then you're going to remove the old tile from the checkerboard's inventory, and you're going to drop that new one in to your inventory. And now if you wanted to use lobster plates in a recipe for some way, you can see it's now available. Item 1. And we'll just res it in the middle in box 5. You'll see it shows up. The system will work even for recipes that use the same item in multiple spots. Like you can see for fried bacon, it'll res it out into the 4 different spots, and you can still use each one in your recipe. For something like chicken feed, you can see I have it set up here. The feeder's up top, and similar situation here where you have 9 ingredients resed out across all the tiles. And as long as you know your sequencing, you can cook these relatively fast. Keep your chickens happy. Keep yourself happy. Make life easy for you.